Welcome to Yaka Digital Network. Meet Kato. He's out on the school field every afternoon, running until he's completely exhausted, but his speed on the pitch isn't getting any better. Kato is putting in a lot of effort, but right now he is only exercising. Exercising is moving your body to burn energy. Training is different. Training means using a scientific plan to improve specific parts of how your body performs. To build that plan, you have to know exactly where you are starting from. You need a way to measure your current physical limits. Without measuring a starting baseline, any workout routine is entirely guesswork. You cannot master what you do not measure. A baseline is simply your body's starting data point. The most accessible tool we have to measure how hard your heart and lungs are working is your own heart rate. Let's find your baseline right now, alongside Kato. Place 2 fingers on the side of your neck, just under your jaw, until you feel a steady pulse. We'll count every beat for 15 seconds. Ready? Go. Now, take the number of beats you just counted and multiply it by 4. That simple math gives you your total beats per minute, which tells us how hard your heart has to work while you are at rest. That specific number is your first real piece of data. It is the foundation you need to build a structured, effective routine that will actually push your body to adapt. Before Kato can lower his resting heart rate or sprint faster on the pitch, he needs to decide exactly which physical traits he is trying to develop. Fitness is not a single generic concept. This table shows how we break fitness down into distinct categories. On the left is health-related fitness, which includes daily physical necessities like heart endurance and joint flexibility. On the right is skill-related fitness, which covers athletic traits needed for sports like speed, power, and agility. To figure out where his strengths and weaknesses lie, Kato can run a mini combine. By performing a shuttle run, he can check his agility and how well his lungs handle intense work. For these tests to give us the right data, we have to be careful. If Kato measures his flexibility by bending his knees one day, but keeping them straight the next, his results won't be reliable because he changed the rules. And if he tries to measure how strong his heart is by doing a short sprint, his results won't be valid. A sprint measures speed, not long-term endurance. By running precise, standardized tests, a student gets a clear map of their biology, showing exactly which areas need targeted work. With that baseline data in hand, it is time to build a real plan. To do that, we use a simple guide called the FIT principle. This diagram breaks down the 4 parts of a good routine. The F stands for frequency, meaning how often you train each week. The I is for intensity, which is how hard you push your body during the session, something you can monitor by checking that pulse rate. The first T stands for time, or how many minutes the workout lasts. The final T is for type, meaning the exact exercises you choose, like sprinting or lifting weights, to hit your specific goals. Applying this framework takes all the chaos out of exercising. It turns random physical effort into a targeted, safe schedule that you can track over time. Here is a biological reality. The human body is inherently lazy. It refuses to spend energy building extra muscle or increasing lung capacity unless it feels completely threatened by its environment. To force the body to adapt, we use a method called progressive overload. We essentially trick the body into thinking it needs to get stronger to survive. This means gradually increasing the difficulty of your workouts. You add a little more weight, run a little further, or reduce your rest time, pushing your muscles slightly past what they are used to handling. But there is a limit. If you push the stress too high, too fast, you hit a breaking point. Instead of getting stronger, you end up with chronic burnout and injuries that stop your progress entirely. There is also the rule of reversibility. If you stop applying that stress for a few weeks, your body decides it doesn't need the extra strength anymore and quickly sheds the adaptations you worked so hard to build. Use it or lose it. Applying consistent stress that gradually increases over time is the only biological way to force your physical performance to improve. This brings us to the most counterintuitive rule of physical training. Your body doesn't actually get stronger while working out. The growth happens after you stop. Take a look at this graph. When you train, the physical stress breaks your body down slightly, which is why the line dips. But during recovery, your body doesn't just repair itself, it overcompensates. building back to a new, higher level. Cato now plans his rest days just as carefully as his running days. He knows that taking time to sit under a tree and rehydrate is when his muscle fibers are actively rebuilding. Without planned recovery periods, the entire cycle fails. Your body never gets the chance to overcompensate, and you end up chronically exhausted instead of fit. Fast forward several weeks. Cato has stayed perfectly consistent, following his fit schedule and taking his recovery seriously. He goes back to the field and runs the exact same shuttle test he did on day 1. When he checks his pulse afterward, his heart rate is lower than it was before. He has objective mathematical proof that his heart and muscles have adapted. Physical fitness is a long-term journey of finding your starting line, building a plan, and staying consistent. By measuring your progress, you become the architect of your own health. Thank you for learning with Yaka Digital Network. Be sure to check out our website for more classes and resources to keep building your skills.